Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? It's morning. It's July 2nd. I'm still wearing this shirt. Slept in the shirt. Went to a friend's house down the beach and they had a fireworks display. Fireworks blew up over our heads, raining debris all over us. It was great. Uh, Also, my girlfriend got me this little thing right here. So, guys, I'll do that. But you feel free to do that to me when I make videos because my grammar is often terrible when I actually make videos. Uh, this video has nothing to do with that. I really wanted to make an addendum to the video I just made about indecision and party cohesion, um, because I had a couple things that I wanted to mention that I did not, and I thought about them like afterwards. The first one, really simple, is as far as indecision as a player, one of the things I've run into myself, um, where I become indecisive, is when I'm just learning a brand new system, brand new game, and like so I played maybe a year and a half ago or so, maybe a year ago, in a friend's game of In Nomine at a con. And so I had this character sheet in front of me, and you play like the part of angels. You can play devils too, but we're angels, and they have various different powers based upon what kind of angel you are, and it can be a little bit complex. And so there were times that I was indecisive for a second because I had to look at my sheet and figure out like how do these things work. So that's one of those times too that just it's like system mastery, when um, at the end of the day, when at least you learn your character. So part of I didn't have time. It was a con. It was like very very fast, and I got handed a pre-gen. But one of the things that's helped me become more decisive as a player, in terms of like just knowing the mechanics, is well you're responsible for your character. All right, so that's all I got to say about that, as Forrest Gump would say. The other thing that's I want to talk about, like party cohesion in terms of making decisions, which is really, really important. I do have a lot of experience with this, is the game in between games. And I made a video probably about, I don't know, about a year ago or so about that, and hopefully I'll link it here. Or I gotta work. I've been working on trying to like put my videos into categories, because like Runeslinger and some other people have some great categories, and so you can navigate their videos. And I realized I have this like ton of videos now that run the gamut, and the titles aren't always evocative of what they're really about. So it's some work going back and making these categories. But I want to make some playlists. So the game between the game, what the heck does that mean? It's the idea that like in between sessions, sometimes you're just doing collaborative note taking. Sometimes you're just talking about the game, session after it happens, or you're talking about getting pumped for the next game. But during those conversations, and of course nowadays they can all happen online, which is a lot of fun. And because it's also fun because it's permanent. You can go back and look at the conversation you've had, if it's on Facebook or a forum or email, or however you manage to do it. We did a lot of not only note taking, but talking about what's our next move, what's our next plan, because we all had ideas. And so here now, outside the constraints of the immediacy of the game, like where we have a 3-hour session, this is what's happening right now, we're in this scenario right now, what do we do? And as we're talking and deliberating about it, the clock is ticking. It may not be the actual game time clock, although sometimes that happens, where it's the guy's like, well, this is the 6-second round, what are you going to do? But more importantly, as far as like the grand schemes of the party, or whatever group of, you call your group of players, you can sit and deliberate. Well, what's our real goal here? What's our real motivations? You let people air out what their intentions are, what they would like to see happen, what their goals for their character are, or for the party, what the goals for their party is, and you can kind of hash those things out, and you're free to take your time and discuss these things, and even discuss them with the game master. Like, is this plausible? Have this kind of back and forth dialogue with all of you, and to me, that really helps build party cohesion. Period. Like it was great in the Lamentations of the Flame Princess game I was involved in, um, some years ago now. Which I talk about that one a lot, not just because of the game, but I realized that like I underwent a lot of paradigm shifts during that game. And I want to make some videos about paradigm shifts I've been through. See, this is you don't make videos in the early morning when you only had a little bit of coffee, because you start babbling. But I've had the same experience here. This All for One game, where we talk a lot about. We talk about the system, we talk about the game world, we talk about like our, we kind of rib each other about each other's characters. We talk about each other's characters, which is a lot of fun. So they become more and more real. But we're starting to talk a little bit more about like what do we want to do. I mean, the game is very young, and it's a bit odd because there's several game masters involved. But we're starting to become more cohesive about maybe what our goals are for as a party. It's also a little weird because we're not sure how long this is going to go based on our schedules. Whether it's going to turn into a long-term campaign or not. But you start to develop that kind of cohesion, and ability to really come to consensus outside the game. And sometimes you can actually play a bit of the game, in between the game. Anthony's actually, posted or may put up a video of his spell preparation, because this game, uses more time in All for One regime to have a leak. But all that game in between the game, that can really help build party cohesion quite a bit. So that's been my experience with that, as far as like a more helpful, positive spin. So yeah, this is kind of an addendum video. I should put it in the other one, but didn't think of those things at the time. So anyhow, happy 2nd of July.